So I see one comment. Pepper draws it. He says, "Is that James Harden?" Have you gotten that a lot before?
I get it everywhere I go. I can't go to the Dallas airport without getting, mauled by people saying, "Hey, James Harden, you James Harden, or Denzel Washington's son, whatever his name is from the Ballers." But I even had people to stop me in mid form and said, "Hey, man, can I get an autograph? Can I get your signature?" And I said, "Nah, I'm not who you think I am." And matter of fact, I'm 9 years older than James Harden, by the way. He
Uh,
looks like law.
right. Shout out to JB Hardy. He's a channel member. Shout out to Abel Ambrosio. What's going on, fellas? He's a channel member as well. Um,
Mhm.
so I wanna ask you real quick. So I guess Dallas they've been kind of playing defense like James Harden, like he plays defense. I
Yeah,
saw the meme. I saw the meme that you put up with James Harden as the defensive coordinator. That was pretty funny. But
yeah.
one question I want to ask you is, do you still look at this as a rivalry game? I know it's been kind of rough in the past couple of years, but do you still get hyped, like we did back in the '90s or the '80s, when Washington fans would say, "We want Dallas," going back and
Right.
forth. Do you still feel that same energy, or have you felt it fade away over the last
It,
couple of
it
years?
would it would never fade. It would never ever fade. I can't stand y'all. I can't stand those Eagles. I can't stand the Giants. It would never fade. Shout out to my dog Louis T and you, but I just can't stand it. Especially in the early '90s. If you guys knew what you guys were doing then, it was crazy how you guys was running and operating that thing in the '90s and of course parts of the '80s. And when you move over to the following decade from there, y'all had a guy. I remember vividly. I was asking my mom, "Can I stay up? Can I watch this game? Can I watch the end of it?" And I'm thinking that we came out with the victory. And I'm sitting there looking, and you had a guy named Mouse. Man, just killed us, man. Two touchdowns in the last minutes of the seconds there. And I'll never forget that. And I'll never, ever forget the fact that what you guys did to me when y'all had RG3 out there and putting up all of those points that one particular year. So nah, I can't stand you.
So yeah, the feeling is mutual. It's still Dallas hate week for me. I know it's been down the last couple of years, but I do remember the RG3 Thanksgiving game, the Santana
Mhm.
Moss, the Monday Night Miracle, like you said. I
Yeah,
stayed up. My parents they went to sleep, and I stayed up, and I woke them up the next morning. I was like, Washington won the game. It was like they didn't believe me. They didn't believe me
uh,
because y'all were winning that game 13-0 the whole game, and somehow we just came out of
mhm.
nowhere and won that game. So there's still been some epic battles. There's been some times where y'all have beaten us. Y'all have been the underdog. I remember y'all went 1-15 one year, and the only win was against Washington. So it's been crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to Quentin Yeoman. He's a channel member. Shout out, he's an elite channel member. Shout out to Burgundy and Gold Fan all day. What's going on, man? He's a channel member as well. Make sure you guys sub him up. So the NFC least has been so bad this year, and
Mhm.
the whole division. So what do you think about the rules? Like, say if this was the NFC South and they had
Mhm.
a year going 6-10, do you think the NFL should consider changing the rule and banning a division from not making it, or make it like the NBA, kind of where the NFC has to have a good record, or somebody has to have at least like a 10-6 record or a 9-7. You just can't have a 6-10 team make it to the playoffs.
Nah, nah. I keep it all the same. Here's the reason why. We play each other rough and rugged. Even though they might call us the NFC least, there's no other division that got more Super Bowls than us, collectively speaking. Let me know if I'm lying, right?
That's fact.
So we got more Super Bowls than any other division, and we amped up to play each other. You got an owner just kind of similar to our owner, like to put their nose in everything, but it's all about the money. I always say this: if the Cowboys really want to play right, then they should swap divisions with the Carolina Panthers. We should just swap it out. We should switch places, but it's too much money involved, right? So that's what this need to be. It need to be a rivalry. They still need to have somebody to represent the NFC East when it get down to playoff time. And unfortunately, it may be that we send somebody out there that's 6-10. It may be that we send somebody out there 7-9. But we'll find out.
That is true. We do lead the NFL in the division with Super Bowls. You guys got five, we got three. John's got a couple. Philly finally, they finally got one. It took them forever to get there, but they finally got one. Shout out to Dora Gunner. He's a channel member as well with the first donation of the night. He has a question for Law Nation. He said, "Who does Law think the Cowboys' Tekashi 6ix9ine is?"
Oh my goodness, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Who does the Law think that the Cowboys Tekashi 6ix9ine? I don't know. You talking about somebody who's snitching in on the Cowboys players there?
I think
somebody in the secondary. Because earlier this week, the backstory is somebody going around bumping their gums, and I always call it that's a cat move. If you really have some issues with the coaching staff, if you're not the captain, then you go talk to the captain. And if you are the captain, you pull that coach to the side and say, "Hey, hold up, player. This is what we're gonna do, and this is what we're not gonna do." And then you can hit the bench, what have you. But you should never ever go unnamed to a reporter and spread all of that stuff around the world, right?
No, I agree. I hate anonymous sources. We've had a couple of leaks coming out about our quarterback, and some anonymous sources here and there spreading rumors and whatnot.
Right.
So I get that. It's not a good sign at all. It's not a good sign at all. Shout out to Pedro Smith as well. Make sure you guys sub him up. Shout out to Reggie Reg. He's a channel member as well. I want to ask you, how many wins do you think is going to win this division this year? Who do you think is going to win the division?
Cowboys.
And how many?
I had us going 11-5 at the beginning of the year. So I wasn't that Cowboy fan saying, "Hey, we're gonna go 16-0," or I wasn't that Cowboy fan saying we're gonna go 13-3. I had us going 11-5. I think that the way we are set up, I thought Mike McCarthy would bring in a lot of experience, but it seems like he's hand tied. And I thought for sure that even though Mike Nolan is a trash of a defensive coordinator, but I thought that by him having his contemporaries behind him, like the George Edwards of the world, like the Al Harrison, or like the Maurice Linguist, I thought in Tom Sula, that guy, I thought that by them working together, they would help band-aid or help aid some of the situations that Mike Nolan put out there. So now that I look at it, Mike Nolan, it's just what it is. We are historically bad. Thank God that you guys got issues with your offense. like you really not going to really put up that many money up on us like that, right? Got some issues going on over there. Although I like your dog, Scary Terry, but it's just one of those things where, and Gibson, he's a dog too, but it's just one of those things that I thought that for sure we was going to go 11-5. I still have us going 11-5 until we lose more than 5 games, by the way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's getting past 6 wins in this division. I don't see it. I really don't. It's so bad. We're gonna see a trash football game tonight from the Eagles and Giants too. But like you said, our offense has struggled, and the Giants' offense struggled. They were able to put up 34 points on you. So I do think this might be a high scoring game. You just never know, because I have seen both defenses had their bad spots, and like you said, Mike Nolan. I know you guys are not a fan of Mike Nolan at all. Shout out to the door.
Do you want him?
No, we've had our fair share of terrible. We had Greg Minuski, man. He was terrible last year. But no, I'll let you guys. I heard what Jerry said about Mike Nolan. I thought he said he's fine with Mike Nolan. So I like to hear that from Jerry. Dora Gunner, thank you for the donation once again. He said, need another NFC East roundtable. Let's argue who the least trash is.
Who's the least trash, right? Oh my goodness, man!
Right.
So we still gonna have to poke fun at those Eagles, though. Cry, Eagles, cry. Can't stand them more so than anybody.
Right. He says hashtag Dallas sucks. Hashtag NFC East is trash. Hashtag Mob Squad. Prodigy Z, thank you for the donation. He says Betono de Tedros and Law are good white van prospects.
What is that?
I don't know. Prodigy Z, hey, thank you for the donation. He usually comes on here and says something off the wall or in a different language, but hey, I appreciate the donation. I won't turn it away. I appreciate that. So what's your feeling about Andy Dalton? I've heard some mixed takes on him. I heard, guys like Colin Cowherd saying that he's not too much of a drop off from Dak Prescott. I know Andy had a up and down game against the Cardinals. I know there was the pass interference on CD that wasn't called. He threw an interception there that, probably shouldn't have been an interception. But And Andy did lead the Giants. He led you guys to a victory against the Giants after the terrible injury to Dak. What's your confidence level in Andy Dalton for the rest of the season? And Andy
Well,
Dalton this game this week.
well, this game is not a primetime game. His record is like 6-29 now in primetime games. So the guy, I think that he got those butterflies and those deer in the headlight type of situations going on with his mental capacity when it's prime time. So as a quarterback, I had him pegged as the best quarterback in this division. But he proved me absolutely wrong on that because he just folded up like a wallet come this past Monday night. So my thing is, where do I think that Andy Dalton can do? Yes, he got a good delivery of the ball and get the ball out quick. He's the veteran, and he's right now, collectively speaking, is the third highest quarterback to run for rushing touchdown in the National Football League outside of the few that's out there now. So I think that Andy Dalton, he just got to get comfortable with the guys. The offensive line is trash right now for us. So I just think that he's a rhythm type of thrower. If we can somehow find a way to get out ahead of you guys, it would be trouble for you all because I think that he will pick up a little bit better this weekend with CD Lamb and beyond.
Mm. Shout out to my mom. She said, "Sorry, we didn't believe that Santana Moss was going to get those catches." Shout out to B Swift Beats. He is a elite channel member. Shout out to him. You can become a channel member with the link down below. I see another donation. Shout out to Pedro Smith. Make sure you guys sub him up. He is an up and coming YouTuber, or he's not up and coming. He's arrived. He's definitely arrived. Shout out to Oscar Josue Montel. He is a channel member as well. Thank you for the donation. He said, "Is Washington buyers or sellers at the deadline?" I would say it depends on this game. If we win this game, of course, you're in first place in the NFC least or tied for the first place in the NFC least. So hey, you might want to be buyers. You might want to trade for maybe an Allen Robinson from the Bears. He's probably not available, but you might want to trade for a John Ross that can take the top off the defense. A speed guy. We can use receivers. We need somebody to help Terry McLaurin. We could use wide receivers and a tight end. David Njoku is available, so you might want to give up a 4th-round pick for David Njoku, or give up a 6th-round pick for John Ross. We need receivers. We need offensive help really badly. This offense is limited, other than Terry McLaurin, so we need some weapons really really badly.
Well, McLaurin looking at this particular defense, he's like, oh yeah, oh, that's the secondary that I'm gonna have to go up against. When I saw Darius Slayton get behind this particular secondary, and I saw everybody else like the Odell Beckham, DK Metcalf. So Scary Terry, he's gonna be scary. Now, trust me, I love defense more than offense. And right now, our defense is in the shambles. Now, hopefully, I mean just that our front four can wake up. We will, or we should have Randy get down Gregory back, and if he can create some pressure and causes the quarterback, who you guys gonna have starting this weekend?
Quarterback,
Quarterback, yeah.
yeah, it's gonna be Kyle Allen.
Okay, so you put a little pressure on him. Maybe he can give us 2 or 3.
Yeah,
maybe, just maybe.
yeah, I'm lukewarm on Kyle Allen. He does turn the football over. He'll make for every good play he does. Sometimes it'll cancel out for a bad play. There's a bad Kyle Allen, and there's a good Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen, he's almost like a Colt McCoy. That's kind of what he is. He's a good backup, but he definitely should not be a franchise quarterback by any means at all. Shout out to Door Gunner for the donation once again. Shout out to my guy Door Gunner. He says Zeke a check stealer now, Law. Hashtag Butterfinger. Door Gunner coming with the heat tonight.
Yeah, it's a nose ring, baby. It kind of throws off his equilibrium. My thing is with Ezekiel Elliott, I think he's pressing, and he got to take those sleeves off. For one, take the sleeves off. Don't try to press. Understand that, yeah, Tony Pollard is behind you. And if you mess up, he will try to get in to get some reps. But don't think about that. If I'm the coach of Ezekiel Elliott, I'm pulling up all of my Ohio States and I'm looking up all of my first year and second year tape. And I'm sitting there telling him, hold the ball like a loaf of bread, tightly, but up high. And let's not bend that bread up or carton of eggs, whatever you might want to have with those drills so that he can run upright or so he can not put the ball on the ground. Watch out for Ezekiel Elliott this weekend.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Eric Gomez, thank you for the donation. He said, I'm a Skins fan that just moved to Dallas via New York City, and the fans here are decent and cool as opposed to Philly, but still dislike the Cowboys.
He's going to transform in a few years. Watch.
Yeah, no, I feel you, Eric, because Philly fans, there was actually a video of Philly. They lost to Baltimore. They was fighting on the stands. The very little fans that they're letting in there, they already start fights already. It's crazy. I mean, come on now. They just, they can't take an L and just move on, But I did see the video that you posted of a Cowboys fan that punched the TV and then and then he shot up the TV because
Yeah, we get frustrated when we lose, but not to the extent like Philadelphia Eagle fans do. And we get happy when we win. We're not going to go out there and start eating horse, you know what I'm saying? Manure, because we won the Super Bowl. I know that the Philly, they can be the ones that talk because they are the last people or the division to win the Super Bowl or what have you out of this division. Nevertheless, they still looking up. For the life of me, they keep talking about us, but they got to catch up with you guys, right?
That's true.
Super Bowls.
That's true. 3 is better than 1.
Not in their world, right?
So let's get back to Zeke. Let's get back to Zeke here real quick because he's really had some problems here fumbling football. We know he's an elite talent, all pro running back. Do you regret the big deal that you guys gave him? Because you know how teams deal with running backs now. You see what happened with Todd Gurley and the Jaguars cut Leonard Fournette, and running backs are more expendable these days. How do you feel about Zeke's play, and would you consider starting a Tony Pollard this game or the next week if Zeke keeps up the fumbling?
Well, I'm an old school philosophy type of thinking. I thought that last game that he should have been benched for the entire game, back-to-back fumbles. That's the only way you can send a message so it can echo and permeate throughout the entire locker room that, hey, coach mean business. You don't put the ball on the ground. Every time you put the ball on the ground, the opposing team scores. And that's how they scored the 14 points. The game was kind of close for the first quarter. It was 0-0, by the way. Momentum, confidence, and everything goes a long way with fumbles. So Ezekiel Elliott still will start this weekend because of the politics. I don't believe that the Cowboys should have paid him $90 million, especially on the way he got it by holding out and these sorts of things. And he wasn't a choir boy for his first few years, right, by the way. So they made their bed. They paid him the coin before they paid the quarterback. They paid Jalen Smith before they paid the quarterback. They paid Lyle Collins before they paid the quarterback. They paid D-Law before they paid the quarterback. And all of those people that I mentioned not playing up to their contract. Even Amari Cooper, he's the only one that's semi-playing up to his contract. But it's just one of those things where his priorities are kind of awkward in Dallas. And right now, I think that Ezekiel Elliott need a big game to solidify the reason why they paid him.
Right. No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. I mean, you guys have paid, or Jerry has paid everybody but the quarterback. How do you feel about that? Because he's kind of getting the Kirk Cousins treatment. Do you think Dak's going to be? I know we got some time from them, but do you think Dak is going to be back? If you had to put money down, do you think he's going to be back on a new contract, new deal, or do you think he's going to be tagged again?
It's predicated upon what Andy Dalton do for the remainder of the year. If Andy Dalton goes out and he just kills it, right? If he go on this run, this magical unicorn run type of situation, then Dak Prescott is gone. There's no way we can look at it. If he can win a game, a playoff game at that, then Dak Prescott is gone. Now the chances and the odds of that is very slim, especially after looking at this past week tape. So I think that they'll look at this situation and they would say, he was 1-3 last year. Of course, well, they look at it in the future. Say he was 1-3 last year, or this year, basically. How can we justify paying this man $40 million, right? So what they're gonna do is, from a financial side, from the business side of the table, they might franchise tag him again, which will be at $37 million, and say, hey, prove it to us again, So they might do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see. Yeah, I could. I think probably is going to be tagged again, like the Kirk Cousins situation. I don't see Andy Dalton outplaying Dak, So I
Right.
mean, yeah, I think Jerry probably should just give Dak his money. Shout out to Alexander Wilson. Thank you for the donation. He said, "What happened to this division?"
Life, man.
Yeah, I think this division it was bad last year too, because
Yeah.
Philly they won at 9-7. I think this year also injuries have really hurt a lot of teams. Dak with the
Mhm.
ankle injury, and then Philly with the lineman injury, and the Giants are just the Giants. So
Right.
uh, injuries are not. I think the Giants were going to be a pretty sorry team this year. Shout out to Dor Gunner. Once again, he says Zeke looking like Tracy Morgan's character from The Longest Yard. Hashtag crop top cheerleader.
Oh my goodness, man. Hey, that's a good one there. Hopefully Ezekiel Elliott can turn the corner around, right? It's just one of those things. And I wanted to tell Cowboy fans, whoever watching this, if they get a chance to watch it, there's no such thing as the Cowboys going to tank naturally. They're going to try. If they going to tank, it's going to be organically. And I don't think that even right now, the where we stand at in this division, I don't think that we can tank all the way to get one of those number one overall draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like one or two, because we won too many games already.
Yeah, you got to out tank the Jets, and it looks like the Jets are really going for that tank. They made a trade. They made a trade on game day last week, and
Wow.
they I think they got blown out by the Dolphins like 24-0 or something like that. And the fact that they haven't fired Adam Gase yet shows you that they're trying to tank.
Right.
So you got to be 1-15, 0-16 to really get Trevor Lawrence. So I do want to get on your offense. I usually do a thing called studs and duds. So who's been some studs so far for your offense, and who's been some duds or some disappointments so far on this offense for you guys through the first 5 games?
For the first 5 games, the stud you got to put in the hat for CD Lamb. He's been one of the guys that's leading in reception yards, I believe, right now for the Cowboys. And of course, even though, as far as the offense, we got to put in Dak Prescott, but he's gone now. But he's been a stud for us. It's just that we have not been showing up in the win column, and hopefully he can come back next year and continue that pathway that he was on. Now the dud for us, it had to be a guy named Terrence Steele, undrafted rookie guy. They had him out there, and all he did was to say, "Hey, here's a free lane to the quarterback." Another dud would be weapons on the offensive side, like as far as the wide receivers been good, tight ends been good. Maybe just maybe you can throw in one of the other offensive linemen like the Connor Williams, or for the low hanging fruit, you can say Ezekiel Elliott. But the only reason why I can't put Ezekiel Elliott in that window of being just a complete dud or what have you, he's been the sixth offensive lineman for us. He's a hell of a blocker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting. I did see the clip where Aaron Donald kind of threw him like a rag doll.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Zeke can block a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know, and I do want to ask about the injuries. Like, who is starting for your offensive line? I mean, it's crazy. Tyron Smith out for the year. Lyle Collins out for the year. I think
Mhm.
Zach Martin now is in concussion protocol. I mean,
Mhm.
the injuries are just piling and piling up. So who is starting for you guys on this offensive line this week?
Well, I don't know who the left tackle going to be. We still got that tossed up. It could be a guy named Cam Irving, or it could be somebody else that we just picked up. I forgot his name at the tip of my tongue, but we got Connor Williams. He's going to be the quote unquote left guard. We got Tyler Biadasz, the center. And for that spot or that board that's left from Zach Martin, if he can't play, it's going to be that other Connor McGovern, not the one from the Jets, because the two Connor McGoverns out there, but this is our Connor McGovern. And of course, Terrence Steele will be our quote unquote right tackle. So we got a makeshift offensive line. Majority of those guys outside of, I guess, Biadish, and you would throw in the fact that Connor Williams, those are the only guys that got pretty much draft quality out of that offensive line. Everybody else is kind of like picked up from off the streets.
Sort of like undrafted XFL kind of guy.
Undrafted, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, how do you how would you game plan for Chase Young and them guys and Montez Sweat? Do you think they can hold up against Chase and Montez?
Well, I do a lot of 12 personnel, have my two tight ends out there to chip, block, stay in the backfield. That would be the best way to look at it. If not, if you really want to give those dogs that you guys got over there a free release, then line up at 10. Just say, okay, we're going to have to shoot it out. Make sure we spread y'all defense all the way out. Get the ball out quick. Know that when you get to hike the ball, 1, 2, 3, get that ball out of there. That would be the best way. Also, misdirections, reverses, and things like that would work out. But the only problem is that we got a guy named Kelly Moore who is more prone and knowledgeable of throwing the ball than setting up creations as it relates to running the ball. So that's our major issue right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you for the donation, Alexander Wilson. He said Washington is paying Landon Collins $14 million a year, and he is terrible. He's one of the most overpriced players in the league. Alex, I can't disagree with that statement. I mean, Landon Collins, he's stealing money from Daniel Snyder right now. He's got the guarantee. One thing, I'm happy that Landon Collins is not wearing number 21 because he wanted to wear 21 to represent Sean Taylor,
Yeah.
and it's looking. I'm real happy he's not wearing that number because he would have tarnished that number. And I actually like Landon. I'm not one of the guys that hates Landon Collins. But yeah, if you guys target him in coverage, I don't want to give you too many tips or whatever, but it is what it is. I mean, you probably already know anyway with him playing with the Giants. He's just not a coverage linebacker. He's not a coverage safety at
That's
all.
what he's a hybrid. Like put him at the box, blitz him, and do stuff like that. Saw how they played Buda Baker. Not saying that he got that type of skill set, but he got similar skill sets like that. Play him along the LOS, blitz him off the edge, make him play within the confines of the box. Get him out of that deeper third. Don't have him around there. And he talking about complaining about $13 million a year that he's overpaid. How about 20? We paying a guy $20 million a year, and he got my name on him. D-Law, come on now. And let's make a trade right quick. Landon for D-Law. Give me Landon right now.
Nah, I don't. I'm gonna warn you. I'm gonna warn you.
Come on.
I'm gonna warn you. I'm gonna warn you on that one. Landon's been pretty. He's Josh Norman was bad for us last year, but Landon Collins he's almost taking it. He's almost in Josh Norman territory, where if
Did he
put
come out to the media and say, "Hey, I can't give 100% of the time, 100% of the time"?
no, he didn't do that. If he did that, then yeah, D-Law said that.
No. We got a guy named Xavier Woods who refused to come down inside the block or to hit somebody, to shed and disengage, to get up the field, to run up through the A gap. He like, nah, I ain't gonna go through there. No, it's too much meat down there, man. I ain't finna do that. But I believe that Landon Collins is better than what we got than a Darian Thompson or even a Xavier Woods as it relates to playing down inside the box. Because if I get Landon Collins, I'm putting him inside the box. I'm keeping Xavier Woods out there free so that I will be able to work with that. And as far as if you guys get D-Law for Landon Collins, at least we won't have to worry about that massive $20 million a year for one sack guy,
Mm-hmm. Right. No, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think Landon needs to go to the right team. I know Jack Del Rio is a great coach, but he has to go to the right team to use him because they just got to use him like you said. Don't put him in coverage. Use him as that box safety that he is, hybrid linebacker, and I think he can excel and be in that All-Pro level that he used to be. The blocker, thank you for the donation. He has a good question here. He said, if you could have one player from the opposing team, non-quarterback, what player are y'all taking?
I'm breaking the bank for Chase, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Yeah, that's. I'll go get him. Definitely would. How's Ruben Foster doing over there?
He's on injured reserve, so he's not playing this year. Hopefully he'll be ready for next year.
Man, that dude, he can't get right, huh?
Yeah, he tore the ACL, the MCL. He just got he got feeling in his feet like not too long, like a couple months ago. He couldn't feel his feet for a little. His toes didn't have feeling in his toes for a little while. So he's had a major setback. Hopefully he have a major comeback. Another Alabama guy too. Another Bama
boys.
Yeah.
So, who would you get off of our team then?
You guys have a lot of talent. I mean, we are desperate for wide receiver talent. We're desperate for any kind of talent. So guys that are healthy from your roster, I guess I'll probably take one of the receivers. I would love to have CD. I would love to have Amari or even Gallup. Gallup, he's had some drops drops here and there. But just to pair it with Terry McLaurin, like when you watch this game on Sunday, you're gonna be like, wow, Washington, we need a receiver, we need somebody to help out Terry McLaurin, and it's obvious when you watch the games. We just need one more wide receiver. So if I had to pick, I probably would go with Amari Cooper because you know how Ron Rivera tried to throw the bag at Amari, and then Amari turned it down. And, he was like, he wanted to stay in Dallas. So we saw what Amari did to us a couple of Thanksgivings. I think like 2 years ago, what he did to us on Thanksgiving. So I would definitely want Amari Cooper on this team. But CD has a lot of potential. CD might be just as good or better than Amari Cooper, 2 years from now, maybe even next year. You never know.
Right. And I tell people that all the time. People say, hey, he's the number one wide receiver now. And I said, no. When you look at the tape, they still rolling coverage Amari Cooper way. And they're still got that thing on him, whereas they put the number one receiver on Amari Cooper. And what we're looking at out of CeeDee Lamb is him doing that slot action, and he's going against nickel corners or the third or the second best corner on people's team. Who do you guys got out there? Is Fuller still out there?
Yeah, so we got Kendall. He's our best corner by far. He's got 4 picks on the season already. He's made some really nice acrobatic catches, getting interceptions. He's looked really, really good so far. I've been impressed with him. We got Ronald Darby, who got torched as an Eagle. So I
don't want to see Cooper. He like, no, I don't want to see Cooper, man. No, put me on somebody else. Last time I saw him, he left my ankle out there somewhere. So no, I don't want to see him.
Right. So I know you're pretty familiar with Ronald Darby, but Ronald Darby, he's actually been pretty good. He's improved. He had a couple bad games the first and second game, but ever since then he's got back on track. Hopefully he can stay on track. I don't know who the matchups are going to be. Who we're going to have follow Amari around or Gallup. I think we're just going to really have to rely on our defensive line to get there and take advantage of the injuries that you guys have. So that's what we really have to do. But Kendall Fuller, he's been our best corner so far. We need safety help too. He's had to play safety because some of our safeties have been getting burnt crisp real easy. So, but yeah, we'll see if Darby's on Amari. Hopefully Darby can get his revenge on Amari Cooper.
Can you break down how it feels to have a cornerback to have 4 interceptions? Because if that happened over here in Cowboys land, I promise you, we will erect a statue in his name. We will plaster him all through the Dallas Cowboys aura. How did he get those 4? Were those actually his interception? Was it tip ball? Break them down for me right quick.
I got you. So one was from former Washington Hall of Famer RG3 when he played. He was a backup for the Ravens. He came in to spell Lamar Jackson after they were beating us by like 10 or 15. And he threw a pick to Kendall Fuller. It was an easy one. He got Jared Goff. That was a nice interception. I think Chase Young had a pressure, or Montez had a pressure on Jared Goff. He threw it away, and Kendall Fuller got it. He's got a couple pressure interceptions. So when Chase Young is getting home and Montez Sweat's getting back there, or Kerrigan, he's been there. He's been in the right spot at the right time. But he's got the hands to catch him because I've seen a lot of guys catch easy interceptions. He's actually made some really, really good catches, like at the sideline. Like he had to dive and get an interception against the Giants, and I think they might have challenged it, or I think it was review. It was a booth review, and he caught it. So it was a tough one.
Yeah. So we got a guy named Diggs on our team, and he had 5 of them, but they didn't count because they all bounces off his hands. So hopefully, man, we can get some of that juice that you guys got over there, and he get his first pick, for the season from your team. But this guy Kerrigan, he's been the Cowboys killer for us, man. You guys line him up all over everywhere, and pretty much he comes off the LOS real quick. He's a high motor type of guy. How's his season going so far?
So there's been some games where he's been on a milk carton where he's been missing. And, he's been getting limited snaps. He only got 7 snaps against the Giants, but out of those 7 snaps, he got 1 sack. So he was the one guy to get home against Daniel Jones, a.k.a. Danny Fumbles, as I call him. So he was the only one to get a sack on him. There is a rumor mill going around that he could be traded or will be traded. I think if we lose this game, then Ryan Kerrigan is definitely going to be traded. I think we're going to be sellers at the deadline. But Ryan Kerrigan, he was NFC East Player of the Week, Defensive Player of the Week 1 against Carson when we had 8 sacks. I think he had 2 sacks that game. and had a fumble recovery. So he's been hit or miss this year. He's getting older, and he's behind Montez. He's behind Chase. So it's been, Jack Del Rio's he's limited Ryan Kerrigan's snap. He's a rotational pass rusher, but he definitely could have a good game this week. Once again, like the injuries, I mean, this should be a week where Washington should take advantage, especially, guys should be fresh. Ryan Kerrigan only having 7 snaps. Ryan Kerrigan should be fresh and ready to go. But if I had to put money down, I unfortunately I do think if we lose this game, I think he's going to be traded.
Wow. Well, we got the Walmart All Stars as left tackle and right tackle for us, man. We picking up people off of the streets. We talking to people that, hey, you dropped that off of Uber Eats. Hey, can you play a little football? Hey, here's a Dallas Cowboys jersey. Come on down here to the Star. So he should at least get some pressure this weekend. And matter of fact, even if he just only counted that 1 sack against the Giants, he will be in second place on the sack total for the Cowboys because we are allergic to that too. We can't get to the quarterback for some strange reason.
Yeah, that is crazy. I've seen Aldon Smith has gone bonkers this year. I think he's got 4 sacks already. Yeah. So that's great for a guy that hasn't played in so many years. For Aldon Smith to come out there and make an impact like that is crazy. We definitely got to keep an eye on Aldon Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Extra Squad, thank you for the donation. He says thoughts on Dwayne Haskins getting benched from a Cowboys fan perspective.
It shattered the young man's confidence. I think that you should never do that. It's hard to put the toothpaste back into the tube. I just think that the coaching staff, and that's what you get sometimes. This coaching staff that you guys got, they didn't draft him, right?
Nah.
So there's no love and adulations for him. There's no feelings. He said, remember, baby boy, he said, girl, I lie to you because I care about your feelings. It's none of that involved because they looking at him like, hey, we can go get another quarterback that can make mistakes. When you're supposed to look at the quarterback and say, okay, how can we grow off of this? What are you doing good? How can we elevate you in these type of situations? And I think Haskins, he can throw a good ball. He can scramble when pressure's around him. I think that he can go through the deliveries and reads a little bit better. It's just the fact that the game was coming so quick at him and the COVID and all of these things and didn't get a chance to properly work out with his wide receivers is the reason why. I saw it was the Browns that you guys played, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was staring down the receiver. He threw the ball to Malcolm Smith. I said, God dog, boy, what you doing? Your job on the line. Don't press it. Y'all was doing a good job against them. But it's just one of those things that I hate that to happen to a young kid. And not only that you guys put him on the bench, but you put him way in the back, right? Way the third string or something like that. And then you came out saying that, okay, now he got something going on with him with his stomach or something like that. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah.
Don't move on from him. His confidence is probably gone now.
Right. No, I 100% agree with you. I can't stand what they did with Dwayne Haskins. I can't stand the decision from Ron Rivera because Ron Rivera has been really iffy and wishy-washy and had a whole bunch of mixed messages. First, he said, this is a rebuilding season, developmental season. Then he saw how terrible the NFC Least was. He's like, okay, we're in win now mode, which I still don't necessarily agree with because I still don't really think we're going to win this NFC Least with this roster because he didn't build the roster to win games. Our wide receiver other than Terry McLaurin, I don't even know if you can name the rest of the receivers that we have on this roster. Do you even know who our tight end is?
Is it Logan Thomas or somebody like that?
Our tight end is Logan Thomas. No disrespect to Logan Thomas, but we traded away Trent Williams, we cut Adrian Peterson. We got rid of the most of the Quentin Dunbar. We got rid of most of the veterans on this roster that had talent. So it's a lot of young guys that we're relying on, and not Ron Rivera not calling timeouts in the beginning of the year. Ron, he's just had a lot of mixed messages and a lot of I don't know because he has the cancer treatment, so I don't know if the chemotherapy is messing with his brain or whatever. But some decision making from him has been really, really, really weird. That I just don't agree with at all. But he definitely should have at least gave Dwayne Haskins until the bye week, in my opinion, if you're going to bench him. Really should have gave him the whole season because, I just want to see what Dwayne Haskins can do. And if Dwayne Haskins doesn't play well, we probably only win 2 games if he doesn't play well. And then you can get a Justin Fields or you can get a Trey Lance, one of those guys in the top 10. So I thought Dwayne Haskins definitely didn't get a fair shake at all. But I wish him the best. I hope we do trade him because, like you said, we put him down to the third string behind Alex Smith to the point where you see Dwayne Hasson on the sideline in sweatpants in a clipboard on Sundays, and I don't think that's going to help the young guy at all. I think he needs to play to get better. Some guys just need to play to get better. Sitting on the sidelines doesn't help everybody. Not everybody's like a Pat Mahomes where they sit down 1 year and they just come out slinging the ball 50 touchdowns. It doesn't work like that all the time. Shout out to Door Gunner once again. He's been on fire tonight. He said, "Law, think Cowboys backup quarterback plays this game." Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci. Hey, if Cooper, not Cooper, I'm about to say Cooper Rush. If Andy Dalton starts off like he did against last week and throw an interception or fumble the ball, I think that there will be a cry for Ben DiNucci to see what he can do. It is just one thing that the Joneses does better than any other organization. They know how to sell, and they oversold us on Andy Dalton. And what will happen here is they're stubborn. So what they would do is they'll wait to the fifth interception before they pull them, and that's just the bottom line. So I don't think that Ben DiNucci will see any play time until probably the third or fourth quarter, if that is the situation.
Mm-hmm. Alexander Wilson, thank you for the donation. She says Trayvon Diggs is from DC along with Chase Young, repping that DMV.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Trayvon. He's brothers. He's Stephon Diggs' little brother, and Stephon Diggs is from Maryland as well. They're both from the Maryland area. There was a lot of hype around Stephon Diggs coming to Washington. You know how kind of like how you guys went to Earl Thomas. It was kind of like that with Stephon Diggs, but of course, you know those free agent things where everybody gets hyped up. Those things never come true for the most part. But definitely shout out to the DMV. Alexander Wilson, once again, thank you for the donation. He says Daniel Snyder forced Washington to draft Dwayne Haskins because he went to school with his son. The coaches and scouts didn't want to draft him. Yeah, those are rumors, Alex. I mean, that is true. Dan Snyder Haskins did go to Bullis High School with Daniel Snyder's son, but that could be true. I mean, that's a conspiracy theory. I'm not gonna get too much into that. Shout out to Kenny Man Fitness. He's an Elite Channel member. Shout out to him. I see you in the chat, man. Shout out to J.R. Hickson Ball too. But that's a conspiracy theory. I'm not going to get too much into that, but hey, it is what it is with Dwayne. I hope we trade him, and I wish the best for the guy. I really do. I wish the best for him.
Me too.
So yeah, let's get to the defense. I know your defense is. I think they're giving up 36 points a game, and giving up.
We historically bad. I don't think that you guys ever had a defense this bad. By the way.
Right. So who's some studs on your defense? So who's impressed and who's been some duds on the defense so far? If there's been any studs at all.
Yeah, we still got my dog Diggs. I think he's still a stud. He's a dog over there. On the defensive side, I still like what Alden Smith is doing. Pay attention to Justin Hamilton too. He's from my hometown, from Natchez, Mississippi. So shout out to him. He's gonna get the starting role or playing role or what have you on that front four. So look out for Justin Hamilton. Another stud for us will be. I haven't even seen him play yet. It's going to have to be Randy Gregory if he played this weekend. He's going to be fresh. He's still got a bend. His shoulder can get so low to the ground, like he can cut your grass out there and still rip around and get to the quarterback. So I think that he plays with that level of violence. So y'all got to watch out for number 94, Randy, get down Gregory. And those are our studs, man. Everybody else been hit and miss, man.
Mm-hmm. How's like Don Terry Poe? Because I know he's one of your off-season additions. How's Everson Griffin? I know that was a big name signing for you guys. I know you guys were excited for him because he had a good year last year with the Vikings. Don Terry Poe was pretty good last year as well, so that was a big addition. I'm trying to think of who else you guys added, and I know you guys got the rookie Bradley Anae, who had a really good college career too.
Yeah.
So how have those off-season additions been? So I think Daryl Worley, you guys signed him in the off-season too. And then you guys actually released HaHa Clint Dix, who was on Washington before. So how's Everson been? How's Don Terry Poe been? And how Daryl Worley and some of those offseason additions been for you guys?
Everson been fighting and battling with the coaching staff. They want him to stand up. He want to get in the 3-point stance. He feel like he can get better release off his release action off of that and faster to the quarterback. So he's been fighting. So he's had a poorish type of start for the year. Dontari Poe, have you ever seen those folding chairs, like when you go to in high school or what have you,
Hmm.
in the choir room, they got those little folding chairs. That's what he's been doing. He's been folding up out there. You would think that he would be a plug, shoot the A gap, or I know we're doing two gaps now, but you would think that he would be able to be that guy to be a difference maker, but he have not. He's been pushed around, moved out of the club, and things like that. So it's just one of those things. Whereas the defense collectively, those guys that you mentioned, like the Daryl Worleys of the world, he have not been showing up as well. You would think that he would at least give us some veteran help, but he's just been folding up and missed assignments and being lost out there. And he came to our show. We had a live show with him. I thought that he was going to be able to be a difference maker as far as experience, but he have not been showing us nothing. I think that he'd probably be better suited as being the safety opposed to playing cornerback because he getting burnt like toast out there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Shout out to Christian Sordo. He said, I rep Washington, but let's be real, we losing. So Christian, you being brutally honest, man. You got to have a little bit of confidence. But I see where you're coming from. I do.
Uh,
I think
what he said down there?
it's. he said, I rep, but yeah, he thinks we're gonna lose this game, even though he's a Washington.
Come on, Christian. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Yes, indeed. Come on. I got a blue hat and some stars over here for you, man. Come on down to Dallas, man.
But yeah, I mean, this game, I mean, Vegas has you guys as a 1 point favorite. I think you guys were like a 3.5 point favorite, and then they learned about the injury to Brandon Knight, and then they put it to a 1 point favorite because it's so. And then once like I said, Zach Martin and concussion protocol. So I mean, it's just really, really, you guys have a lot of injuries. That Chase Young and Montez Sweat, they should be able to take it. If they don't, then yeah, it's gonna be a real disappointment. So what's your bold prediction for this game? Like, somebody gonna go off for 150 yards or some, what's your bold? Or is D-Law gonna get 2 sacks or something? Or what's your
My only hope would be if Ezekiel Elliott can get his first 100-yard game, and that would set the tone. That will get the young Andy Dalton in rhythm. That will help us out with time, clock management. We need to play keep away. Although you may say your offense is atrocious, but it's one of those things where your offense could still put up over north of 34 points because last time I checked, the Giants had the worst offense in the league and they put up north of 30 some points on us. And it took us a miracle by the aficionados to help us out on a few plays, right? So that would be my bold prediction that Ezekiel Elliott get over 100 yards.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and that's not even a crazy bold prediction, honestly, because we've
It's now.
because yeah, we've seen Zeke do it, but I know this year has been an up and down year for him, especially with the fumbling. But what's your keys to victory in this game?
Back to Ezekiel Elliott. He cannot play basketball with the football. We don't want to see him double dribbling. Andy Dalton, he cannot give the ball to you guys. So stay far, far away from your dog Fuller over there. I don't want if Fuller on the field, if he's on that side of the field, go look the other way. I don't care if it's triple, quadruple coverage the other way. Throw the ball that way. Don't throw it towards Fuller because he got a knack for the ball, right? Uh, and on top of that, on the defensive side of the ball, if we can manage to get multiple three and outs, I'll be happy. Those are my three keys to the game. Clock management, keep the ball in your hand, Ezekiel Elliott. Don't throw an interception to Andy Dalton. And we can win this game if we have multiple three and outs on your side.
Hmm. And what's your biggest concern in this game?
Fumbles, right? Like fumbles, the turnovers on our situation. And that'll be our biggest concern. Well, my biggest concern for the game. I just think that Andy Dalton just really need to pump the brakes. It's a noon game, right? We playing at noon or we playing at 3 o'clock? What time we playing?
So yeah, it's noon for you and it's 1 o'clock for me.
1 o'clock for you guys. So it's not prime time. I might have to call Andy myself and say, hey dog, It's not prime time. Don't get the butterflies out. Hey, just take your time, breathe. You're playing against the Washington team. Don't buy into the hype. We gonna win if you just protect the ball.
Right. So I do want to read James Slater's thing, and then we'll get into the game prediction, your stats, and
Yeah.
what you think the score is, and then we'll head out. So yeah, the article says that the players said the coaches are totally unprepared. They don't teach. They don't have any sense of adjustment on the fly. And another person said they just aren't good at their job. So what is your take on those statements? Because I think you said they were being a bunch of crybabies. How did you feel about that statement? Do you think that's gonna be worse? Do you think the team is gonna take that and be better, or is that gonna hurt the team for the rest of the way for the rest of the season?
Well, Jalen Smith came out and said, "Yeah, um, we shouldn't be talking to the media and whoever said it. I'm just paraphrasing. Whoever unknown or unnamed player that said it is trash, basically." And I agree with what he's saying. Nevertheless, it depends on who's saying it too. Which would carry more weight. If it's somebody like Darian Thompson who got benched or what have you saying it, then it don't carry a lot of weight. If it's somebody like the importance of maybe a D Law or Jalen Smith, dare I say, it will carry a little bit more weight. But by it being anonymous and by nobody attaching a name to it, it's cat to me. I think that when there's smoke, there's fire. Because Jane Slater, she's class personified, so she don't have to be sitting there saying making up stories. You seen Jane Slater; she don't have to go out there and fabricate stuff. So somebody's in there. And if I'm the coach, or if I'm the player, if I'm the captain of the team, I'm lining up everybody and I'm looking them right in their eyes and saying, "Okay, which one of y'all talking? Hmm? Who's talking?" I look everybody in their eyes and say, "Who's being the baby out here? Look, we have an issue, we have a problem, y'all address it to me. And then if I can't handle it, I'll go to the coach. I'll follow the sword. But don't be going out there loose lipping this thing around. It's about the Dallas Cowboys, it's about their shield, it's about honor, it's about playing through the echoes of the whistle. That's what leadership's supposed to do." Now, this is a new age society. Maybe, just maybe, they don't live by that creed anymore.
hmm Yeah, it's a new generation, So it's tough when you got leaks coming out. And I did want to ask you about Mike McCarthy because we had briefly talked about the coaches because I talked about how I feel about Ron Rivera, but how do you feel about your new coach so far? If you had to grade him on A through F, what would you grade him? Do you think he's been an upgrade over Jason Garrett so far?
It's been the same situation. When I look at Mike McCarthy, I challenge a lot of people to do this. Look at Mike McCarthy when he was coaching on the sideline in Green Bay land, and you look at Mike McCarthy now. Two different type of people now. It seems like it's a Manchurian candidate. It seems like somebody done captured Mike McCarthy and took him somewhere else and put and installed Jason Garrett back inside of him because that's always saying the exact same thing. So I don't see the difference. I would grade Mike McCarthy right now for not being the person to snatch the playbook from Kellen Moore's hand. And I just look at him right now as a grade level C, close to failure. So it's right at average right now.
hmm
A little bit below it, by the way.
Right.
C minus, right?
Right. And would you shake anything up? Would you fire? Would you hesitate and fire Mike Nolan? Would you try to bring in like a Wade Phillips or somebody else at the coordinator? Would you make that move?
If y'all put up 40 points this weekend, I'm going down there and we moving some furniture, man. We got to do something. I'm sitting there. We got to fire Mike Nolan. We got to make some type of positional change. Mike McCarthy got to go out there and say, "Hey, I'm going to snatch the playbook from Kellen Moore's hand and I'm going to call the play." I think a coach did that before. I think it was one of those Harbaugh brothers. Things was going bad, and he said, "Man, two tears in the bucket. Pluck it. Let me call the plays. I'm the coach. The buck stop here." I think that Mike McCarthy need to take a page from there because we didn't hire him to be a walk around coach, right? Well, from my Cowboys perspective, right?
Right, right. So Jay Money, so he's kind of like my guy from Washington that said that we were going to lose. So we got a Cowboys fan. He says, "Nah, as a Cowboys fan, I think we will lose. We keep turning the ball over and give up 30 points every week. Plus, we have a ton of injuries and overpaid guys not providing effort.
Mm. Well, J Money, you right on the money, man. Anything can happen, and 9 times out of 10, you more on the right side as far as the turnovers and giving up 30 points because that's been a norm. Any team that plays us get that north of 30-point groove going against us. So you might be right. So if I'm Scary Terry, I gotta call him that. If I'm Scary Terry, I'm looking at this thing saying, yeah, yeah. Mama, cousin, Pookie, Ray Ray. I'm going up against the Cowboys, baby. Turn it on. Turn on channel 12 or turn on channel 8. I'm finna burn them. I'm finna lay it straight. Watch. He's already thinking about, I promise you, he's thinking about his celebratory dances or something. I know he got something up his sleeve.
Right. So I guess we'll get into the prediction here. I guess I ask you one more question. Who's like a secret weapon on you guys that you think might pop this weekend? Like maybe is it a Cedric Wilson doing a reverse and throwing a pass downfield or something, or is there like a secret weapon on defense or offense that you think might break out this game?
On defense is Randy get down. Gregory, I think he's going to blaze the grass on the field now instead of off the field and get to the quarterback. I really think on the offensive side of the ball, my dog Cedric Wilson said he's going to figure out something this weekend because we're going to spread the offense out, or spread your defense out, and we're going to attack. So I think that Sid get a good deal today, this weekend, and as well as with Tony Pollard, he could be one of the guys that, when they sub him in, maybe he can capture that edge and get upfield.
Right. Yeah, Trey Pollard he's a pretty good running back. He's a really good running back out of Memphis. So I'll let you go first. What's your score prediction and how do you think Andy's going to do and Zeke and give us a final score?
All right, we trailing the entire game, and when they get to the fourth quarter, somehow, one way or another, the Cowboys will find a way to win this game, being victorious. The final score will be 28-26. Cowboys win on a field goal kick by Greg the Leg.
Yeah, I hate to do this. I hate to go against my own team, but from what I've seen the past couple of weeks, man, we're on a 3-game skid. And then when I seen Ron Rivera go for 2 instead of kicking an extra point, man, I just lost confidence in this team. I lost confidence in his coaching staff. The talent on offense is lacking. I know your defense is really bad, and I think this probably be one of our high scoring games. I unfortunately think you guys are gonna win. I think it's gonna be that story, like you say, where Washington probably is winning the majority of the game, and we're up 20 to 14 or something going into the fourth quarter or something like that, and then you guys score a touchdown and go up 27-24. So that's what I think is going to happen. Kyle Allen, he's a turnover machine. He's going to have some good plays. He's going to have some bad plays. I could definitely see D-Law unfortunately waking up and having a strip fumble or something like that, or him throwing a back-breaking, killing interception to just kill the game, like a Tony Romo-esque interception to throw the game away or something like that.
Yeah, I'm vibing with you now. And then your boy Diggs, he gonna do the Deion Sanders. He gonna get up that thing. He gonna be like, yeah, our hometown people that's from the DMV. They be like, they go Diggs, man. Mama, I told you about him, man. I saw him in high school, man. You know how people be doing. Yeah, man, I played against him, man, in high school, man. There he is. He on TV. Look at number 27. Ain't he so sweet?
You gonna make me change my pick. You gonna make me change my pick. No, honestly, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either way because both teams are just bad football. The whole division is bad. Right. So you really don't know what some crazy could happen. It could be an interception return, a fumble return, some crazy. I would say watch out for this guy named Jeff Badditt. Though he's a wide receiver, he played in the XFL. He runs a 4.240, so he's a guy that might. He's a guy that might be able to. He's a guy that might be able to get behind you guys, but. Yeah, I got you guys winning 27-24. I think Kyle Allen throws a back-breaking interception at the end, and you guys pull up the win.
Oh, wow. All right, let's speak into the existence, man. Thou should decree a thing, and it shall be established, man. I really appreciate you, man.
Right. Yeah, anytime. But, yeah, I see some scores in here. 1,000 subs with no videos has 38-3. We'll see what that happens. Alex Smith is actually in the building. Thank you, Alex Smith, for tuning in. I hope the leg is feeling good for Sunday. So you might have to come in if Kyle Allen messes up. He says 33-8 Washington football team. He says Riverboat Ron is coming. I haven't seen anything really good from Ron. I just haven't this year. I haven't, and I still believe in Ron Rivera. I'm not giving up on him after 1 year. I'm not going to treat him like a Chip Kelly type coach. But I just, Ron Rivera with his mixed messages and changing his mind every day. I don't trust him, especially after that 2-point conversion decision. I can't trust him at all. So, but yeah, guys, we're gonna head out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Law, tell them where they can find you at, man.
Oh man, I'm on multiple platforms on Fire Stick TV as well as Roku at LAWS Nation, Laws Nation, or LAW Nation as well on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm also on Twitter at LAW Nation. And check out my multiple YouTube channels at LAW Nation. Check me out on all of those platforms. I really appreciate you. I'm on iTunes too. I'm everywhere basically, as you guys can see. And subscribe, follow. Even if you don't like the content as it relates to Cowboys, I talk, some football stuff. So it's transferable knowledge. And just jump on the page, man, and hit me up, man. Show y'all support over here in Cowboys land, and that's where you can find me at.
Oh, definitely. Make sure you guys check out Fan to Fan Network. We're both on there, definitely doing our thing. We got the stream every Sunday. We got articles on there. It's the sports that fans deserve. So make sure you guys check us out on there.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah, thank you for coming on, man.
Anytime, man. You have a good day and a better tomorrow.
Yeah, you too. All right, y'all. Peace.